A very good morning to all students. Today we will see our next session, that is session 4 of Unit 5 of subject Principles of Programming Language, that is PPL. So today we will see the following topics: inheritance in a Java, types of inheritance, multi-level hierarchy, superclass references, super keyword in a Java, and constructor called sequences. Now what is the inheritance? So inheritance in a Java is a mechanism in which object acquires all the properties and behavior of the parent object. So it is a process by which one class accesses the data members, that is properties, and methods, that is functionalities, of another class. The aim of inheritance is to provide reusability of a code so that a class has to write only a unique feature, and rest of a common properties and functionalities can be extended from the another class. So here inheritance represents is a relationship. It is also known as parent-child relationship. So this is one well-known example that parent having some properties and the child extend or inherit the particular properties from the parents. Means what? It may be child looks like a parent, child having some hobbies like a parent. So why use inheritance? For method overriding. So this is one very important feature of the object-oriented programming, that is method overriding. So when we use runtime polymorphism, it is called as method overriding. We'll see this in afterward, but for method overriding we are going to use the inheritance. Then its main use are to enable polymorphism and to be able to reuse code for different classes by putting it in a common superclass. And one more advantage or use is code reusability. So in inheritance, there are mainly three classes. One is a superclass, which is also known as base class, parent class, driver or inheritance, or ancestor class. For example, here in this example, class A is a class. Now second class is intermediate class, which is called as mediating or dual class. Now here class B is a intermediate class or mediated class. And last one is the child class, which is also known as subclass, associate class, derived class, or inherited class, or child class. So here class C is a child class. Now these are some examples. So see, suppose I am having one class that is a person. So person may be having a student, teacher, or doctor. Means what? Student, teacher, doctor is having their own properties as well as they are acquire the properties of a person. Same way here is another example, that is shape. So line, circle, triangle, these are the classes. These are having its own properties. Also it's having properties of a shape. So this is a detailed classes. For example, person having the like name, age, gender, and the methods like eat, walk. So student have its own properties like program, study year. Also he can inherit or use the properties like name, age, gender also. Along with eat and walk methods, he have class student having its own properties like study, held exam, etc. Same way for the teacher having designation, salary are the particular variables, and along with these variables he having its own property like teach, take exam. Same way for doctor, checkup, prescribe, etc. are the roles or methods of the doctor. Same way here for the shape having color, code, draw, rotate, set color, etc. are the functionality and the variables. Same way circle, line, triangle also having its own variables like radius, length, angle. Along with that, the particular class is having its own proper methods like draw, compute area, right? So this class is having its own property, child class is having its own properties, as well as they can use the properties from the parent class. So Inheritance in a Java is done using two keywords. One is extend keyword. So in case of simple classes and abstract classes, we need to use the extend keyword. And for the interfaces, we need to use the implement keyword. Now what is inherited? So when Java is in a Java, when class is executed, subclass inherits all the public and protected private properties and default properties of a superclass. But what is not inherited? The private members, right, of superclass are not inherited, or we can't access that particular directly by the subclass. Also, constructors of a superclass are not inherited by the subclass. Now, how to use this extend keyword? Now see, extend is a keyword used to inherit the properties of a class. So this is a syntax. I am having one class superclass. So here is the body of the superclass. Now class sub. So sub is my child class, right? So class sub extends. So this keyword is very important. Extends supers. By using this line, what happens? Subclass will acquire the properties from the superclass, right? So syntax of inheritance: class, subclass name, extend, and superclass name. And here are the method and full. So what extend keyword indicate? This keyword indicate that we are going to make a new class that derives from an existing class. So here is one example. So I am having one class. The name of class is parent. So in that I am having one method, that is P1 method. So I am just going to write one sentence, that system.out.println parent method. So just one statement is there, parent method. Now public, I am having another child class. So the child class is a public. Now see here, my method P1 is a public method. So I can inherit this public method into a child class. If it is a private, then we won't access the particular method. So here child class is my public class. So public class child is the name of class, extend keyword is there, and parent. So in a parent, I am going to write another method, that is public void C1. So here I just print one sentence, that is child method. So in a main function, what I do, I create object of child class. So subclass का मैंने यहाँ पे object create किया है. So child C obj is equals to new child. So I can call this C1 method and P1 method also by using this COBJ. COBJ.C1 means what? Calling method of the child class, and COBJ.P1, this is a calling method of the parent class. So what will be the output? First of all, C1 को हमने call किया है, so child method is called. So output is child method, and then P1 method is called. So output is the parent method. Now see here access control. This is very important part. Access control and inheritance. A derived class can access all non-private members of its base class. Thus, base class members that should not be accessible to the members of a derived class should be declared private in a base class. Right? So here are the access specifiers: public, protected, private. So here are the class, same class, derived class, and outsides of the class. So if it is the same class, if it is a public, then we can inherit. If it is derived class, in a case of only private, we can't particular variables, but for protected and public, we can access. And for outside of the classes, only public we can use the public only. For protected and private, we can't access. So types of inheritance. So based on number of ways inheriting the feature of base class into derived class, there are mainly 5 types of inheritance. First is a single inheritance. Second is multiple, hierarchical, multi-level, and hybrid. So in a particular Java, single, multiple, and hierarchical inheritances are, we can create these three types of inheritances only. But multi-level and hybrid, multiple and hybrid inheritance, we can't achieve. Multi-level, single, and hierarchical we can achieve, but multiple and hybrid inheritance we can't Java, or Java is not allowed to do multiple and hybrid inheritances. Why? We will see it in afterwards. Now this is a single inheritance. So it's having class A, class B. So all the properties of a class A, it is a parent class, will be accessible by the class B. So multi-level is what? A, B and C. Three classes are there. C inherits a B, B inherits a A. So A is a my super class, B is intermediate class and C is a child class. Hierarchical. So A having class A is a parent class, B, C, D. So number of child classes are there. So in a Java programming, so multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance is not supported in inheritances, but through interfaces do it. But for inheritances, it is not supported by the Java. So what is a multiple inheritance? So there are two parent classes. Child A, class A and class B are the parent classes, and class C acquires the properties of the class A also and class B also. And what is a hybrid? So here is one parent class, class A. So B and C acquires the properties of A, and D is acquires the properties of the B and C. So why in Java programming multiple and hybrid inheritances is not supported, right? Inheritance is not supported, interface is supported. So why interface is supported and why inheritance is not supported? See here. Now for example, suppose class A having one function, that is for example area. Class B having same function, that is area. Now C. Class C acquires properties of class A and class B also. So classes having function area. Now in C, when particular C is called area function, C get confused that from where that particular function is, or for of which class the function is called, for of class A or class B. So C get confused. So this is what this problem is occurs in the multiple inheritances. So class C can't understand which type of object or we of what class it is the method. Means what A की method है या फिर B की method है. So it is confused at the time of creation of the object. Now same problem occurs in hybrid inheritance. So class A having class B and C having properties of A, but D having also properties of B also, A also, and C also and A also. So same way, suppose I am having same function name, for example area in class A, B and C. So we get confused that from where the area function is called, from A or from B, or from A or from C, right? So this is called as diamond so this problem is called as diamond problem, right? So multiple and hybrid inheritance is not supported in a Java in inheritances, but it can be possible by using interface. So what is interface? So in the interfaces there are particular statics methods are there. So by using that in interfaces there are n number of methods, and we have to there are declaration of the methods, and we have to use that method and give body to that methods. Now main purpose of inheritances is reuse. So we can easily add new classes by inheriting from the existing classes. Select existing class closer to the desired functionality, create a new class and inherit it from the selected class, add or modify the inherited functionality. Now here the particular types we can see one by one. So single inheritance, it is easy to understand. When a class extends another one class, only then we called it a single inheritance. Below flow diagram shows class B extend to the class A. So parent class is a class A and child class is a class B. So class A, it's having its body. So class B extend class A. So A is a parent, B is a child. This is what single inheritance. Now multi-level inheritance. So single base class plus single derived class plus multiple intermediate base classes. So multi-level means it's having only a single base class, single derived class and multiple intermediate base classes. So यहाँ पे एक line हो जाता है like class A B and class C. C acquires the properties of B, B acquires the properties of the A. So class A is my parent class, which is close to B, right? So class B extend class A. Now B is a child class for A, but B is a superclass for the C, right? B act as the intermediate class, which is subclass for A, but superclass for the C, and C is a child class. So class C extends the B. So whatever properties are in a A are coming in a C via B. This is what multi-level inheritance. Now see here one example. So here Java program to illustrate the concept of multi-level inheritance. So I'm having one class, that is class 1. So public void print gig. So I have one function in gig. So in that I just print one word, that is gigs. So class 2 extend 1. So 2 is my subclass and 1 is my parent class. So in that there is one function, that is for function. I'm just printing one line, that is for. Now class 3. Class 3 extend 2. So 2 is a parent for 3 and 3 is a child. So public void print gig function. Now same function is, see here, the same function which is in a A are override here, print gig, right? So system dot out, it just print the gigs. So in a class main, public static void method, main method is there. In that I have created a object of third class only, that is 3. G is object name is equal to new 3, right? So child class का यहाँ पे object है. So G dot print gig, G dot for and G dot print gig. So what will be the output? First of all, it will call my first method, that is gigs. Then for it will call this method, and for the last it will call this method gigs, right? So this is what the multi-level inheritance. So in university question paper, there is one question in a May 2019 question exam for 3 marks, that is what is inheritance and how multi-level inheritance is actually in a Java. Explain with suitable example. So you can write this example, you have to draw this diagram and you have to write some explanation about this. Now one more question is there, what is inheritance and what are the advantages of using inheritance, and show the example of simple in Java. So in May 2018 exam, this question is asked for 7 marks. So you have to write what is inheritance. There are 5 types of inheritance. You have to explain this and take one example and show the simple inheritances, right? Now next is hierarchical inheritance. In this inheritance, multiple classes inherit from a single class. So class A is my parent class. This is a single class. Class B, C, D is acquire the properties from the class A. Right? So one single class and multiple subclasses are there. As we can see from a below diagram, when a same class is having more than one subclass or more than one subclass has same parent is called as hierarchical inheritances. Here class A act as a parent and subclasses are B, C and D. Next is multiple inheritances, which is not actually in a inheritances, but we can actually do it by using the interface. In programming, multiple and hybrid inheritances are not supported through class but supported through the interface only. Why multiple inheritance is not supported? See, to reduce the complexity and simplify the languages, multiple inheritance is not supported in a Java, right? So here class A, B, C are 3 classes. C class inherit A and B's classes. So in other words, in a class C, it acquire both the properties from class A and class B also. Now why multiple inheritance is not supported in a Java? Now consider this scenario like A, B and C. There are 3 classes. Class C inherits A and B class. If A and B classes have same method and you call it from child class object, then there will be ambiguity to call method from A or call from B. So as I told you in an example, Suppose class A and B having same method, that is a area, then class C get confused of which class the method we have to call. So at error are better, since compile time errors are better than the runtime errors. So Java re-renders compile time errors if you inherit two classes. So whether you have same method or different, there will be compile time error now. Now this hybrid inheritances. So this hybrid inheritance is also not allowed in the inheritances, but we can achieve this by using the interface. So same way, class B and C acquire the properties of A, and class D acquires the properties of B, A and C. Right? So here is one single class, more than multiple intermediate classes, and one child class. So what are the advantages of inheritances? If we develop any application using concept of inheritance, application having the advantages like development time is less, it will take a less memory, execution time is also less, right? Performance is enhanced, redundancy means repetition of code is reduced. Now what is the disadvantages? Inheritance based class and child classes are tightly coupled, hence if you change the code of parent class, it will get affected to the child class also. And in a class hierarchy, many data members remain unused and memory allocated to them is not utilized. Right? These are some disadvantages. Now, superclass references. Now see, a reference variable of a superclass can be assigned to reference to any subclass derived from that superclass. Means what? Here we can assign object of subclass to a superclass. A reference variable of superclass can be a reference to any subclass derived from that class. You will find this aspect of inheritance quite useful in a variety of situations. Like, for example, suppose, see this code, I am having one class that is vehicle. So I am having one variable that is max speed is equals to 120. Now I am having another class that is car, which extend the vehicle. So car is a subclass and vehicle is a parent class or superclass. So here also I am having one variable that is in max, and I am just overwrite the particular variable. Here is my max speed is 120, so I override here to 180, and I am just displaying the particular thing, that is system.out.println maximum speed is super.max speed. So super is the object name, dot max speed is particular variable name. So I am having one class that is test class. In that main function is there. So see here, car is my subclass. So I am going to create one object that is small, is my object name, is equal to new car. Right? Now small dot display. So when I am going to display this particular function, so what will be the output? See here, I am going to create one object, right? Now small dot display. Now when I'm calling the small dot display, so it will goes to here, right? Now see here, when it enters into this, so in a displaying, I'm just give the reference for max speed. I'm just give the references of the superclass. So here super dot max. So super dot max speed means what? It will show the max speed data which is in a my superclass, that is 120. So what will be the output? Output is the 120, right? So here a reference variable of a superclass can be assigned a reference to any subclass, right? So obj is a reference to new data object, and since new data is a subclass of a data, right? A reference variable of a superclass can be assigned a reference to any subclasses. Now see here, for this, see here the example superclass references. So I'm having one class, that is data. In that I'm having data1 and data2. So class new data is my subclass, extends the data. So data is a superclass, new data is a subclass. So here I'm having two more variable, data3 and data4. So public class Java app. So in that I'm having main function. So what happened here, see here, data obj is equal to new. So as usual here we have to write the data class, but I am going to write here a new data. So what I am going to give superclass variable as a reference to my subclass. Then data obj is equal to new data. So new data is my subclass, right? New data is my subclass and data is my parent class. So we are going to assign this variable obj to new class object. So when I am going to call obj.data1 is equals to 50 and obj.data2 is equal to 100, and when I am going to access that particular data1 and data2, it will be the show output of 50 and 100, right? So this data, so this is called as the superclass references, right? So what happened over here, obj is a reference to new data objects, since new data is a subclass of the data, right? When a references to a superclass object is assigned to superclass reference variable, you will have access only to those parts of a object defined by the superclass. Now super keyword in a Java. The super keyword in a Java is a reference variable that is used to reference a class object. The keyword super came into the picture with the concept of inheritances. Right? So the use of super keyword doing somewhat like this reference variable, except that it always refers to superclass of a subclass in which it is used. Right? Now see there are three ways where we use the super. So use of super with variables, use of super with method, and use of super with the constructor. So with the help of method, variable and constructor, we can use the super keyword, right? So this scenario occurs when derived class and base class has the same data members. So in that case, there is a possibility of ambiguity of a JVM. So see here, this example explain, right? Just 5 minutes ago. So I'm having one class, that is vehicle class. So I'm having max speed is 120. Same, I'm having one class, that is car, which extend the base class vehicle, and maximum speed is 180. So in display function I'm having super.max speed. So this super keyword is in a Java is a reference variable that is used to refer parent class object. So I'm going to use max speed. So max speed will be, if I'm going to write super.max speed, so this super is nothing but the max speed which is declared in a super class. So in output it shows the 120. Instead of, though this method small dot display is the method from a derived class, if I'm not going to write here, if I'm going to write here only a max speed, maximum speed plus max speed, अगर यहाँ पे मैंने लिखा होता, output will be the 180. But though I am writing here super.max speed, so with the help of this super keyword, it will call the variable from my super class, that is what, 120. Same thing when we use super keyword with the method. So what happened? So this is used when we want to call parent class method. So whenever a parent and child have same method, same name method, to resolve ambiguity we use super keyword, right? So same here, person is the I'm having base class, so I'm having one function, that is message. So here this is a person class. Second, I am having student class which extend the person. Same in a student, there is one function, same name like a base class, that is message. So here I just going to print one, that's it, this is a student class. So in a display function, first of all I just call message. So it invoke or call current message. So which is the current class? Student. So it will print first student, this is a student class. And after that I just call super.message. So due to this super keyword, which method is called? Method from the person class, means what? Super class. So this is my person class. So in class test, I'm just create a object, that is student s is equal to new student, and I'm just going to display the s.display function. So in this display function, this will, due to this super keyword, it will call the base class method. इतना ध्यान में रखो कि अगर हम लोग सुपर यूज कर रहे हैं कीवर्ड, सुपर डॉट अगर वेरिएबल का नाम लिख रहे हैं तो वो वेरिएबल सुपर क्लास का मतलब पेरेंट क्लास का ही होता है. एंड अगर हम लोग वो मेथड के आगे लिख ले लाइक सुपर डॉट मैसेज, तो वो मेथड पेरेंट क्लास की कॉल. सेम वे the use of super with the constructor. Super keyword can also be used to access the parent class constructor. One more important thing is that super can call both parametric as well as non-parametric constructor depending on the situation. Same way, see here, I am having one class that is person, I am having one constructor person. So constructor and a class having same name. So one statement is there, person class constructor. I am having another class that is student which extend the person. So in the student I just call super. So it will invoke the constructor of a parent class. So super अगर मैंने यहाँ पे कॉल किया है तो पर्सन क्लास कंस्ट्रक्टर जो है वो कंस्ट्रक्टर कॉल होगा और आउटपुट में डिस्प्ले होगा पर्सन क्लास कंस्ट्रक्टर, राइट. एंड सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट इज व्हाट? सिस्टम डॉट आउट डॉट प्रिंटलन स्टूडेंट क्लास कंस्ट्रक्टर. सो इन द नेक्स्ट लाइन इट विल प्रिंट स्टूडेंट क्लास कंस्ट्रक्टर, राइट. सो थैंक यू. Any questions?